How's it going, everyone? This is Ken Q, and today, I'm sitting down with Aestheria Lupin. Hopefully, I said that right. If not, I'm sure I'll get hit over the head with like a book or something. Um,
I wouldn't do that with my books.
oh,
Maybe a ruler. I'll do a ruler.
yeah, I didn't want to say ruler because I was thinking more of that was more of a teacher vibe, but okay, that's fair. And today we're going to sit down and we're going to just have a casual chat, learn a few things about everyone's favorite librarian, and yeah, should be fun. So I guess to get started, did you want to introduce yourself?
I suppose I should. My name is Asteria Lupin, or Miss Lupin for short. If you wish to be polite, you can call me Lu if you know me personally. And I'm just your mystical librarian who likes reading books to people and spreading the love everywhere. My talents reside in putting people to sleep when I read books. And that's about it. Don't worry. If you fall asleep in the stream, it's totally normal.
I like it. I like it. So do you do like ASMR style reading of books?
Oh, I couldn't do ASMR. ASMR is more like that, like the page flipping stuff and the whispers and stuff. No, I just read the book.
That's the way to
I don't
be.
need the AS. Yeah, just very straightforward.
Yeah. You don't get any weird sounds that way. Or maybe you do.
I mean, weird sounds. Maybe you do. I can't pronounce correctly. This is something that a lot of people have pointed this out to me. I may be a fast reader, but I'm a terrible pronouncer.
I love it. I am awful at reading things, so it's uh it's just impressive that you do it on stream.
Impressive, really, dude. It's impressive that I managed to do it for 3 hours straight. It's
Three
I can read a
hours.
book. Yeah, like you can read a book for 3 hours straight. I could do that, especially silently. But doing it out loud, it takes you about twice as long, even 3 times as long to read through the book because you're reading out loud. Did you know that?
I can imagine it. I've never actually. That's not true. I have read books out loud, but nothing like lengthy.
Yeah. Well, one of the techniques that I have a lot of people ask me is how do I read so fast? And the best thing I can tell them, don't read silently to yourself. Because some people do that. Like, you read something and you go, oh, yeah, today we'll be conducting an interview, but in your brain. But if you just skim through it, your brain processes it faster than you actually were to read it out loud to yourself.
Yeah. You hear about people who can like read line by line rather than word by word, and that's wild.
That is, it is super wild. I have not conquered this move yet.
That's for the next evolution, I guess.
Yeah, the next evolution. I'll soon, sooner or later, but not today.
Yeah. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. All right. So I'm going to just quickly open up my list of questions here. There we go.
Whoa, a PowerPoint and everything, so fancy.
That's what I know, PowerPoint. It's my one skill in life. So my objective with this research program is essentially to understand the life forms of planet Earth because I am an interstellar researcher. So this isn't the first planet I've been to, and it won't be my last. I want to learn about what motivates people, what their interests are, maybe some cultural things down the road as well, just to learn about everyone and everything. So that's kind of my objective here today with you.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So to start things off, nice and easy. What are things that you like, and what are things that you dislike?
Let's see. Things I like. I suppose I like a lot of things. I like writing books. I like reading books. So a lot of things with books, I suppose. I especially love, and this is gonna sound weird, games with intense lore that is hidden. So like I'm sure you've heard of like Five Nights at Freddy's and like they hide lore with like their websites and RNGs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh that sort of stuff of sitting down and decoding information to make up a story is probably one of the best things I have ever experienced. Like that's like my favorite thing, I have to say. As for dislikes, okay, chocolate. I
What?
dislike chocolate.
How come?
I don't know. There's something about it. I've tried it every year. I make it my absolute goal to try it every year to be like, okay, well, once a year I'm gonna try a different sort of chocolate, and if I like it, cool. But I always end up absolutely hating it, and I can't pinpoint what it is. It's just I don't like it. And it's like, what do you dislike about it? It's like, I don't know, is it too sweet? Is it too bitter? Is it too something? There's something about it that's just weird that everyone likes, but I just absolutely hate it.
It's too chocolate like.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's just too much cocoa in it.
Yeah. Wow. I did not see that coming. This is a revelation. I don't even know
Yes.
how to process that.
That's why I asked for the coffee instead of the hot chocolate.
Yeah. So, what kind of sweets do you like then if you don't like chocolates?
Most of the time I like things that are sour. Like sour gummies or like sour worms. Those are like my absolute favorites.
Do you ever just eat lemons?
I do. Is that weird? Lemons are just so good sometimes, though.
All right, we can be friends. This is good.
Okay,
This is
go
good.
outside. We can high five. We got them.
I love lemons as well. I just eat them straight. It's the weirdest thing ever.
I don't know. I think it's the acidity of it. Oh, the feeling of like my tongue burning down.
It hurts so good. I feel alive.
Exactly. I snorted. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's amazing. So, you like books and you like writing books. Do you
Right.
have you written stories or short stories or books or anything like that?
I actually do. I actually like writing short stories of like song lyrics written into a story, or like those are like my warm ups, as you like to say. And like right now, I'm writing novels or choose your own adventures, podcasts. I guess you could say I'm quite busy. I'm a
Wow,
busybody.
yeah. That's
I
cool.
like doing this.
So, I guess along those lines, what kind of stories do you like? Do you like uh, drama stories? Do you like fantasy stories? What's the genre of choice?
I like most genres, but the current one I'm writing right now, I think it fits more in the dark fantasy genre. There's something about taking something, everything always ends up with a happy ending. That's like the usual like thing that you have in your mind, like, oh, and then happily ever after, like most Disney movies or stuff like that. But like I like the dark twist to stuff like the Grimm brothers did, where
Yeah,
it's not a happy ending. Right? It's like it's not necessarily happy, but it's not necessarily the worst thing that could happen.
yeah. Like at best, it's probably neutral.
Yeah, it's like a realistic point of view.
That's cool. So where do you write these things? Are you posting them online or are you just writing them for yourself at the moment?
At the moment, I'm writing most of them to myself, but some of them I post on like a blog
Yeah,
that I keep to myself that I usually just share with like viewers on my Discord to be like, hey, this is just something I wrote today.
cool. Gosh, I think you should post more of them.
I
Just
should
saying.
post more. I'll
Yeah,
try my best. Look, I'll write all of your research subjects.
I like it. I like it. So that this all begs the question: do you play any like role playing tabletop games?
Absolutely. I'm actually hosting a D&D based off uh books and TV series. And so it's like most of my D&D characters start off in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so like everyone's based off like off a character that they like. Someone chose Scar from The Lion King. Someone chose to be Sherlock Holmes from the Sherlock Holmes series. Like those kinds of things. I wanted them to basically it's kind of like a exercise of implementing what you want to write and role playing it better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to do that. So I have that D&D campaign. If you ever feel like coming in as a host or as a guest, you're free to.
Oh, I would love to at some point when things get a little less busy.
Oh no, yeah, you look like a busy person running around.
I run around a little bit, but yeah, I used to play D&D quite a bit, and I loved the role playing aspect more than like the mechanical combat aspect of it. Like the combat is
Oh,
like okay,
definitely.
but yeah, like talking as a character and doing things that maybe people don't expect or didn't think of in advance. That's the fun stuff.
I totally agree. I think that there could have been a better uh combat mechanic, but I think the fact of having to rely on a dice to see if you succeed in action or you don't makes it so much more entertaining and
Yes.
more like realistic to like what is going on in that world. Like it's not always like you're the perfect human being that can flirt with everyone, right? You have to make sure that you can.
Yeah. No, no, no. We are the perfect human beings.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, that's how it works. Okay, I think I've processed this chocolate thing a little more while we've been
Okay.
talking.
Alrighty.
And I want to know what kind of chocolates you have tried.
Okay, so I've tried Twix, which usually I was like, okay, so Twix has like that melty caramel, and I was like, oh, I love caramel. I love melty caramel. Let me try it. I tried it, and that didn't work out. I did the same with Snickers. I did whatchamacallit. I did the milk duds. I thought like maybe milk chocolate would be better. I've come to the conclusion that I actually do like some hot chocolate, but it has to be from like a specific store or like I make it myself and I put a bunch of sugar in it. Which at
Wow.
that point I guess it's just a sugar drink that looks like hot chocolate.
Sugar milk water. I got it.
Yes.
That sounds delicious. Um, what about like white chocolate?
White chocolate is an exception, but everyone tells me white chocolate is not chocolate because it's not made from the same ingredients.
Well, they're wrong because white chocolate is the
They're
best
wrong.
chocolate.
Exactly, thank you. I agree with, see, now we can be absolute friends. Like, you understand.
But it is kind of crazy that you've tried all these things, and I say crazy, but what I really mean is it's shocking to me, but kind of interesting at the same time that you've tried all these things and none of them work for you. It's wild.
Right. Like, it's not like I don't try. Because I want to like it. It's like whenever someone's like, hey, do you want a chocolate? I'd be like, no. And like, what? Why not? And I'd be like, I hate chocolate. It's the most awkward conversation I can have with someone because they look at me like, what creature are you? Are you human? And I'd be like, yes, yes, I am. Why, thank you.
Well, as someone who puts ranch dressing on rice, I've gotten that look many times, so I understand you.
Oh no, ranch dressing on rice doesn't sound that bad.
There's some people who would disagree, but thank you.
I got you. I understand you.
You get me on a fundamental level. I like it.
I do.
All right, that's wild. I like that. Colors. So we kind of touched on this, but what about hobbies and interests outside of books and writing, perhaps?
Actually, I have one more hobby that takes a lot of my time, and I usually do when listening to audiobooks, and it's knitting.
Oh yeah, I saw those pictures.
Yeah, so like knitting is like one of my favorite things to do because I am very like a perfectionist kind of person, so anything that like requires like there's no if there's something that is not right or there's not wrong, it's really hard for me to judge am I doing this right kind of thing. With knitting, it's right or it's wrong, right? Because you either you do it right or you do it wrong.
Yeah, it either falls
And
apart or it doesn't.
exactly. So the fact that I can do that and I know that I'm doing it right is just like very satisfying to do. And like it doesn't take a lot of mental effort. After a while it's just muscle memory. And so I'm just sitting there and I tend to watch a lot of streams or just listen to like podcasts in the background while I'm just knitting and like zoning out. It's kind of like a yoga state.
Yeah, like meditation through action, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's super cool. I would love to be able to knit or sew or do anything with like textiles. That would be really cool.
I figured that it's actually pretty easy. I tried to teach a roommate and she picked it up in 2 days. And it was insane. I taught her like 2 stitches and then she just made a full scarf by the end of it. And I was like, how dare you be better at this than me?
How rude. like
Absolutely. Just not okay.
like at least make it look hard for the first 2 days or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like, so at least mess up once. No, no. She just took her nice, sweet time and she finished it. And I was like, wow, okay.
Never teaching you anything ever again.
Yeah, you're just gonna harass me and all of these stuff.
That's amazing. So what are you knitting right now? And I mean
Right
like
now.
now as in not right now.
Yeah, I get you. Right now, I'm knitting a bunch of scarves for people who donated to me a couple of months back. And so right now, I'm doing like this RGB scarf for someone I really care about. And it turns out the knitting pattern took me forever to nail because you can make your own knitting patterns or you can buy them offline just to copy it. And it took me 2 months sitting down to see what knitting pattern I wanted. Because like
Wow.
there's so many different things you can do with it, right? There's like so many different textiles and shapes that you can do, despite it all fundamentally being on 2 different knits.
That's wild.
It is wild. I thought that was wild the first time I tried it. I was like, you're telling me if I knit this thing with this one stitch and I do it at different intervals, it will look different? How does that work? And they're like, it's magic.
I love that. It's magic. Wow. I remember in high school, I wanted to join the knitting club, but I
You
didn't
had a
have the
knitting
guts.
club?
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's so adorable.
I didn't have the guts though, because it was so like not socially acceptable, if you know what
Oh
I
no,
mean.
I completely understand. I feel like nowadays, it's more socially acceptable. Kind of. I think like we're getting to that generation, at least here in like Earth. I don't
Yes.
know about wherever you have come from, but like here on Earth, it's getting more sociable, acceptable for like men to start knitting. Like the fastest knitter on Earth is actually a man, and he can knit a vest within 3 hours.
No. 3 hours?
3 hours. It's absolutely insane. I was knitting and I was watching him knit this vest at lightning speed.
So there's YouTube videos of this?
Yes, there's just YouTube videos of this man just knitting. And
Right.
he has like a whole like he does dresses and stuff within days. And like those things for me takes months.
You're going to have to link me to this because this sounds just amazing.
I'm gonna have to I'll send it to you.
Okay. Wow. That's wild. I can't imagine like your hands must move so fast at that point.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think I could do it.
Okay, this is only a 3 minute video, but you can see why he's the fastest man on earth.
Awesome. I will watch that right after.
Yes.
Um, are there any hobbies or interests that you're not doing now that you might want to pursue in the future if you ever get any free time?
I think it would be covering songs on like YouTube. You
Ooh.
ever just listen to she used to be famous. I don't know if she still like posts them, but like Juby Phonic used to do like Vocaloid English versions, right?
I don't know who that
And
is.
really, okay, so she used to do English versions, like she would write lyrics to English, to Japanese songs and then sing them. And I used to think that was the coolest thing as like an 11-year-old on YouTube, you know. That
Yeah.
is the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life is watching this person just start from the beginning, just like having a really bad mic and singing, and then see her like grow to be really popular and be like, yeah, I do this for a living.
That's wild.
Yeah, and she's like self-taught and everything. And I was like, you know, if I had the time to do it, I would definitely just start sitting down and like covering songs if I could.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. But like I can imagine the like initial setup of figuring out how to do it would take a long time or take a
Oh,
lot
for
of work.
sure. It would take like so long. Well, it would also take however long it takes your voice or like finding your singing range as well, right?
Yeah.
Like what songs suit you and what songs should you cover?
Oh, because I imagine you can't necessarily sing all songs, right?
Right, because like some songs are just meant for a different like range of voice. Like I'm not about to do an a cappella all by myself.
I was really hoping you would, but okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could sing like high pitched songs. That sounds like something I could do.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you can totally nail it.
I'm not about to sing because I don't want YouTube to get angry with me.
Oh, understandable.
But I would have. I totally would have.
I would have been here for the concert with like a little rave lights and everything.
Glow sticks and stuff.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, covering songs would be cool. I don't know what kind of software you'd need or if you'd need to like get any special licenses to cover particular songs, but
I have no clue either. So that sounds like a different realm out of my out of creating everything from scratch to like covering something.
yeah. Like I can make a video of my own content. That's pretty straightforward, but when it comes to like licensing and all of that stuff, I'm just like I have no idea. I just want to avoid it.
Yeah, it seems like a little tedious.
Yeah. And worst case scenario, you get like a strike or something, and it's like, wow, never doing that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool. That's definitely a cool interest and desire to pursue. You should totally do it.
I will try my best. So we'll see if we get there. By the time that you come back to Earth, maybe I'll get there.
How many subscribers would it take to get you there?
How many subscribers? I don't know. I have no idea.
I did this.
The amount that makes me feel comfy, whatever that amount is.
Gotcha. I did this to my my previous guest. They were talking about their biggest fear was their awkward teenage Facebook posts getting out to the public. And
Oh
I
my
said,
god, that's
okay,
fair.
so if we get to like 500 followers on Twitch, will you give us like a taste of some of these awkward posts? And he was like, yeah, okay. I was like, good, everyone, get them to 500. I don't think we're there yet, but we're working on it.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to get him there now because now I'm interested.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. It's the milk guy. I don't know if you know him.
The milk guy. Oh, I think I've heard of him before. I think I saw him.
Yeah.
In your specific thumbnail. Because I'm not stalking you. I'm definitely not stalking you.
Totally not stalking you.
I'm totally not stalking you.
I think I see someone staring in through my window, viewers.
What?
Please,
No.
please save
I
me.
should... No, 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 no. It's fine. It's fine.
This
Shh.
it looks like a really scary librarian. I'm scared. Oh, great. So another pretty straightforward question. I think you've already answered most of it. What content do you currently create? Ooh.
So, the kind of content I currently create, I actually have separated into two. So, like on Twitch, I usually do like comfy games, uh, at like the middle of the night because you know how some people have really bad time trying to go to sleep and they just listen to like ASMR or like sounds.
Yeah.
So what I basically wanted to do was create that atmosphere for some people where it's just me playing a very comfy game and it's just me talking in the background as they fall asleep.
Cool.
So that's what I wanted to do. As for like YouTube stuff, I usually do like audiobooks, or I'm working on doing audiobooks again because I had to restart. I like YouTube Let's Plays of like really lore, intense, story driven games.
Do you ever have the temptation to like bust out a horror game in the middle of the night instead just to throw people off?
I have every temptation every day. See, recently, actually, I had so like Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, the first time it came out, was having a really bad problems with like bugs and stuff, and I couldn't play it. But they
Okay.
just recently fixed it like 2 weeks ago, and every day since then, I'm like, all right, I said that I'm going to play Animal Crossing. And say that I play for an hour, and then suddenly, as everyone falls asleep with their headphones on, they just hear me screaming and running away, and they have no idea why, but it will put them into a complete panic. And that's my everyday thought every time I stream now.
I feel like you should do it. I think
They'll
that would be
never know when
hilarious.
it's coming, though, so just be on the lookout.
Yeah. If they don't believe you're scary now,
Well, they
they'll believe it
definitely
then.
will then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. That'll be hilarious. I'll have to tune into some of these so that I can get that joint sense of fright with everyone else.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just very random.
Just boo. Ah. That's great. And is there any type of content that you want to create in the future that you're not doing right now?
The future. Actually, I
Ooh.
haven't really thought about it. I'm kind of the person who says, and I want to create all of these, so I'm going to do them right now. I guess the song covers would be the one content that I would like to create in the future, right? It
Yeah.
just comes hand in hand with my hobby and interest that I want to try.
Yeah. It's it seems like you have this personality where it's like if you can achieve it now, why not achieve it now?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely me.
And so the future is more like things that I don't know how to achieve right now, so I'll put them on the back burner until later.
Exactly. That's exactly how it is. If I can do it right now, I'll do it right now.
Yeah, no hesitation.
None at all. It's just there is nothing to stop me unless there is, and then we have a problem.
And then there's going to be a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing to stop me but myself. I like it. So, actually, this will be a question down the road, so I'll just put a pin in it for now and just move
Okay,
on.
okay.
So, what motivated you to start creating content? Ooh, getting deep now.
Ooh, that is pretty deep. I think I was it was about 4 years ago. I had read a book. It was one of these dark fantasy books that I was recently in the mood to read. And in the biography of this book, the girl had told me that it was just like, it was a 19-year-old girl at the time. she started writing this series at that same year and started posting it on a blog, and then someone from a publisher company came over and said, "Hey, we want to publish your book and support you." And so
Whoa.
that's how she started like making like a trilogy of this book that was like really good. And I think that's what kind of inspired me. I was like, yeah, what is stopping me right at this moment, even if I'm like, what I felt like was a young age. You feel like an author should be in their 60s or something. That's a good author. A 60-year-old woman who knows how to write detective novels.
Who's seen the
Um,
world?
yeah, who's seen the world, knows what to do. Like, she has several experiences. And I was scared to try it because I was one, too young, and two, had no experience. But like, this girl was just like, that was the first time I wrote anything like for real. And yeah, I went through several drafts with the company, but it was it was just the fact that that line and outline was enough to attract the company was enough for me to be like, and so why am I not trying it myself? And so then VTubers happened around that same time of the year. And
Yeah,
I was like, I may not be comfortable showing with like being very up close and personal with other people like a lot of streamers are. But I was like, if I had it, I was more comfortable behind like this screen. You know what I mean?
of course.
So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'll just do it. I mean, I've always loved Markiplier before, so why don't I do it now?
That's amazing. And a really cool like entry story, right? Like
Yeah.
that person probably wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm going to publish this book and become a big shot author or something. It was just like, yeah, I'm doing this for fun. And then all of a sudden somebody approached them and it's like, well, if they think I'm good, then I must be good,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I actually messaged her after I read that book. I messaged her and I said, "You have been like the biggest inspiration." And then she sent me a message back saying, "Oh, tell me when you start writing stuff. I would love to see it. Like I think my community is that type of person that wants to support like indie authors." And I was like, "You're the sweetest little bean." I'm not gonna write right now, but you're the sweetest child. And that's when I started like this thing where it was like, if you can offer help for other people, even if you're small or big or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's like enough to make anyone really happy.
And it's cool that you got a reply too, right? Because sometimes like people who, quote unquote make it don't often have the time to reply to people, but it's pretty cool that you got a response to that.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting to get a response at all. I just woke up one day and she immediately answered. I was like, "Excuse me.
Are you sure you meant to reply to me?
Yeah, are you sure that you're talking to the right person? I'm not famous or anything, you know?"
That's wild. But it's also cool that you took that shot to reach out to them, you know?
Oh yeah, I was bold. I was a bold a 19-year-old at the time.
That's wild. I can't imagine reaching out to somebody who's like my inspiration and just being like, "You're cool."
And that they get a response back is even wilder.
Yeah. Good for you though. That's amazing.
Oh, I thank you. I got lucky.
But you also took the chance, which is more than a lot of people will do. And that's
I'll take my credit where it's due. Thank
yeah.
you.
Exactly. Oh, that's good. That's good motivation. So now that you've started creating content, I know it can be kind of a rocky road sometimes with ups and downs. So, what motivates you to keep going now that you're doing it?
Oh, so I think the thing that motivates me the most, and this is gonna sound super cheesy, I think
That's
everyone
fine.
says it, right? It's your viewers, right?
Yeah.
And out of all the viewers, I have this one mod who I call Yoon. And I always go up to her after I finish writing a story or like I finish recording a video or after a stream or anything. I go to her, "Did I do good today?" And she says, "You did amazing today. I look forward to tomorrow." And the fact that she says, "I look forward to tomorrow," is like the most. is like enough to make me be like, I also look forward to tomorrow. Because like
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that positive feedback, right? And even
exactly.
if it's not like positive feedback, knowing that if like, oh, your mic was a little off today, I could be like, well, that's something I can fix. Or like, you were talking a little too much today or a little too loud today. I'd be like, oh, and that's something I can fix too. Like it's something that I can improve on. And the fact that I can improve in something, and maybe this comes with the whole idea of being like a perfectionist, that I can confirm all librarians have this problem. Uh, that the fact that you can perfect it, why don't I perfect it right now? Right? So like tomorrow I'll perfect something.
Wow. I'm just like impressed because you have this very like sometimes in your tweets you come across as very reserved, but you have this very like go get them and go tackle the world kind of attitude.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think a lot of people are very surprised when they see the things that I say versus the things that I do.
Yeah.
Because the things that I say are very like, oh hi. But like the things that I do, I'm like, oh, by the way, I have about 7 projects on the board right now. You're welcome to join any one of them. Look forward to it. And everyone in my chat is like, please go to sleep. Just go to sleep.
Do you sometimes skip out on sleep because of all your projects?
Oh, absolutely. I've done it several times and usually I like incorporating people into my projects. So sometimes I'm recording a video and I let them in there. And it's about 5 a.m. in the morning, haven't slept at all. And all I can hear them in the background is go to sleep. Go to sleep. Do you not realize it's 5 in the it's like midnight for me, so that's like 5 in the morning for you. What are you doing? But it's very heartwarming because sometimes I do polls on my server. It's like, hey, do I take a rest day today or like do I not? Like, should I stream? And they all go, no, go to sleep. It's like 100% everyone says, please sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I do find people are pretty supportive of that in the community, but I also find that when I see your schedules come out every week and it's like 2 streams a day every day, I'm just like, gosh, she works hard.
Yeah, they do tend to be a little wild.
So I can totally agree with the people that you message in that you should take rest days from time to time.
Oh, and I do. I usually let them choose when my rest day is.
They control you.
They do. I give them too much power.
And yet they still don't fear you.
They don't. They really don't.
They will learn one day.
They will. The hard way, but one day.
Yeah. But I totally get that motivation, when you see any sort of feedback, whether it's, positive or, things you can improve on, it's like you have steps you can take to move forward to become better rather than feeling like you've kind of hit a plateau or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I usually always I don't know how other people react to like, the first time you have failure or the first time that something isn't going the way you want it to. I
Uh,
know a lot of people that get upset and then they just stop right there. But for me, if I mess up the first time, I know for a fact I'm gonna spend the entire night sitting down and saying, okay, but how do I make it better?
yeah.
Right? And just make a plan for it. And it might take me forever. Like I know it might. Uh, but the fact that I can get it to be better is like the goal that you want to go for.
Yeah. So I don't know how to phrase this really well, but um, for things that you do on stream, like maybe some hobbies or reading some things, do you like to have a more polished appearance, like practice beforehand or learn the thing beforehand, or do you just kind of like go and see what happens type of thing?
I tend to want to be as transparent as possible, actually. because I don't want them to think that, I came out right out of the womb, I'm perfect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh that's not what it's like. I usually sit down and I'm like, I'm learning this with you guys kind of thing. It's not like I'm doing this alone for entertainment, but also like you can do this with me. Like we will learn this together. I think that's more of the environment I want to do, and that's just comes with the whole. You mentioned it earlier, like it's like you wanted to go with a librarian vibe instead of like a teacher vibe. But really, they come hand in hand, right?
They
Because a lot of
do, yeah.
librarians want you to learn how to do things, right? Like we help you with your research papers, but usually we sit down and say, "Hey, this is where you can find it," and like these kinds of stuff I've read before, and this is what you want to find in it. It's teaching you how to also do something that I've already learned. So it's going to do like sharing knowledge or
Yeah.
learning together, because you're always learning something new. Like it's impossible to know everything in the world unless you're like a super genius, which I have yet to meet one.
Yeah, me neither. that's that's really cool because most of the people I know who have a more uh, perfectionist mentality, it's it's more of a nervous perfectionist rather than like what you have is more like an improvement perfectionist, if you know what
Oh
I mean.
yeah. Yeah. It's not like the perfectionist that other people are dealing with. It's the I'm moving forward perfectionism.
Yeah, we're gonna get better no matter what type of thing.
Mhm.
That's cool. I understand that completely, and that's also kind of what I do on my stream. Like, I'm not great at programming or electronics or any of that. I'm learning some of these things for the first time myself, but I think that anyone can learn anything if they put their mind to it, and I want to demonstrate that to people.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's kind of hard to just be know everything in programming, especially with it always changing. It's
Yes,
always changing. It's like the internet is always changing. Programming is always changing. So all of the machines that we use are always changing. So it's like, how do you expect to be perfect at something and stream it when it's always changing, right? Like
exactly.
you're always going to be like a step behind if you do it that way, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I totally support it and I can see where you're coming from, but I feel like you should just kind of go for it.
Exactly. That's what I like to do. Yeah. Just show people that they can do it too.
Exactly.
And then you could make more friends that like the things that you like as well.
Exactly. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Ulterior motives. Oh, that's awesome. So, on the flip side, what do you find is your biggest stumbling block or demotivator? Ooh,
Demotivator. So, hmm, my biggest demotivator is probably myself, which is contradictory because I'm my biggest motivator in some ways.
yeah,
But if I don't have someone behind me to support me to tell me, "Hey, you're doing great," I can go into a nervous, like that nervous perfectionism where it's, but is this good? But is this okay? Like, am I gonna be able to do it? Do I stop it? Like, do I think I'm gonna be able to get better at this, right? Because you're not meant to do everything. Like, you can learn to do everything, but like, how long will it take me? What do I want to focus on? And so those are things that demotivate me a lot, which is why I like rely a lot on that positive or negative feedback to tell me, okay, but if this is what is going wrong and I know that I can fix it, then I can. Versus if no one tells me what's going on and what is it that's wrong or if it's good or not, I can't be confident in knowing what I need to change to get it to be better.
yeah. I think you kind of touched on three things there. The first is like it's easy to get into your own head and
Yeah.
spiral out of control, right? And the second thing is if no one's telling you whether it's good or bad, it's easy to assume that everybody hates it. I mean,
Exactly.
that's how my
No
brain
one's
works, at least.
putting. Yeah, no, it's like if nobody's telling me if it's good or bad, then that means it was bad. It was like not worth their time.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And so, like, if it's not their worth their time, then it's not worth my time, right? Even
Yep.
if I really want to do it.
I know there was a third thing, but I already forgot.
It's okay. We both had that mentality where I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about, and I forget it.
I have the memory span of a goldfish. It's fine. It's fine.
Exactly.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No, I totally understand. Like, it's the lack of feedback entirely is is probably one of the hardest things. And I know I see people all the time who are like, "Oh, somebody said something mean to me, or somebody said that this thing didn't work well, or something." It's like, I kind of like it when people tell me that they didn't like something, because then
Yeah, exactly.
I can change things. Yeah.
That's why I always tell my community to be very honest with me. Like, I don't care if you are about to come in here and roast me for being really bad at what I just did. At least I know that you thought that I was bad and you wrote it out for me.
And cared enough to tell you.
Exactly. Like, you cared enough to tell me and say, hey, I think this is what you can do to get better. Those are the people that I have to praise. I have a lot of people who do that. It's like, hey, I saw these videos and I thought about you so that you can get better at like pronouncing words. And I'd be like, oh my God, thank you. Oh my, wow, you were thinking about me when you were searching the internet?
People are so sweet.
They're the sweetest things.
Oh my goodness. How did we ever live without people?
I know.
Oh, that's great. So, here's a good one. What's your biggest fear about being a content
Oh,
creator?
my biggest fear has to be that if the person I look up to tells me I'm not doing good enough. In this case, my biggest person that I look up to is Markiplier, which is like, he's like pretty famous. Like, he's not like any indie developer or anything like that. But there is this time, and I don't know how many people remember it, but he was like not as big as he is right now. But he used to say that everyone has potential, and he gets angry, like agitated when people don't reach that potential or try to do something about that potential. And I think that was also kind of the driving motive of like how I am right now. If I can reach it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
If I had him tell me you're not reaching your potential, I would crumble like a cookie, like a little soft cookie from the Walmarts. I would crumble.
That's interesting, because that it sounds a little bit, counter to um, some of your motivation, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, I'm very contradicting, but like it's in the way that I know that I can do better, right?
yeah,
But if he were to tell me that, if he told me that, I know for the fact that he thinks like he's disappointed that I didn't go as far as I was supposed to go.
oh, so not
It
so
could be
much that like you're still working to get there, but like
no.
if you
Mm,
decided this is it, this is the pinnacle, and it wasn't good enough, that kind of thing.
Yeah, if I said this is where I am at my highest and this is where it is, and he told me that that wasn't it, or that I just wasted a big part of my time and that was not my potential that I could have reached or didn't do fast enough, I would I would cry right there in front of him.
All right, so we're gonna have to go ahead and message Markiplier and tell
Oh
him
no,
not to make you cry, because
not to make me cry.
that would break everyone's heart, to be honest. Actually, That's an interesting question. Have you ever tried to reach out to him?
Oh, I had it as like a joke. Every time I have like a donathon, I have like this really cheap goal where it's like I send out a tweet and everyone is like, oh, you should at Markiplier and send a meme to him. And that's just something that I do now. It's just something that I sometimes do randomly once a month. I
So,
send out a tweet to him, but he never responds, of course, because like he gets enough tweets as it is. But it's
yeah,
like the odd occasion that he thinks that it's funny enough to like it, I would cry.
that would
Happy tears.
that would be the day
Then
you just like, okay, time to buy cake, not chocolate cake, but cake.
not chocolate, but the cake. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did it. I'm at the pinnacle of my career. I'm done.
This is what success looks like.
Exactly.
Time to write a book about how to achieve success. I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's kind of a big fear, though, I got to say. And I'm sure lots of people have a very similar fear. People they look up to, people who are their like mentors and things. I could see them, almost anyone, being equally upset if they got that kind of response.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, the reason they're called people you look up to or like motivational people is because they're the reason that you're driving towards something, right? So if
Yeah.
they told you, "Hey, no," you're like, "Oh, I'm putting the brakes on this car and I'm gonna turn around and I'm done. Like I'm not going anywhere anymore."
Not even putting the brakes on, just jumping out of the car.
Yeah, just let the car crash.
Just burn it to the ground and start over.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that would be heartbreaking.
It would be the worst thing. I couldn't think of anything worse for a content creator.
Yeah. Yeah. Dark days. So this is an blah, 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 blah. English is hard. An ominous question, very generic, and I wrote it intentionally this way. So, what is your view of the world you live in? And world can mean anything. Dun dun dun.
That is very big open question there.
Yeah, I've
I think
gotten a lot of different responses to this.
really. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. I think my world would be things that involve me directly. So it could be like my community, but also it could be like my friends and like people that I know, places that I've been. You know, like those things that connect me directly to people, right?
Yeah.
That's what my world is consisting of. Like, you know, there's a whole entire earth, but like I'm not about to reach out and know what everything's happening in Japan when I'm like all the way in like the United States of America. Um, so I think in my case, the view that I have right now is kind of like this is weird, but it's like a pale bluish. It's a
Okay.
color. And the way to see it is, you know, you could go brighter or you can go completely out as like a person. And I don't know if you've ever seen like Fruits Basket before, but like in it, there's the whole thing that everyone has like a little special little like fruit behind them, right? Like a little
Right.
special talent that they can't see for themselves. So I think that our job as people who are connected between worlds is to make people realize what their talent is and nurture it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's deep.
and yeah, it's like really deep. It was like very hard work because it's not something you can't just do that to everyone you know. You have to delicately be like, and I think you can do this to get better. And you know, some people are very denial about what their talents are
Yeah.
because they lack that self confidence. So you have to implement that self confidence over and over and over again, and you need to have someone behind you doing it as well. And so it's like a little conga line where we all do it to each other until we're all just helping each other. at that point.
Yeah. It's wild, but it makes a lot of sense, especially when you describe the conga line, because that would be fun.
Yeah, this sounds like a nice day. We're all dancing.
We're all dancing together. We're all happy. We're all moving forward and improving our lives. Wow. So I would say that you've got quite the, I don't want to say positive outlook, but it's very much like a growth outlook on the world around you.
Oh yeah. I guess you could say I'm very potential driven. Like people can help people, but that's just something that people need to put their effort and time to.
Yeah. There's no time to argue. We have to just help each other. Be nice.
Exactly.
Improve. Improve with an iron fist.
With an iron fist for sure.
Oh gosh. That's cool. Yeah, this question is interesting. Because it's more telling about people what they choose to answer about rather than what their actual answer is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like some people like to talk about like problems in the world, or some people like to talk about, oh, my world is, like you said, my community and the people that I can directly, interact with and influence and help and change. It's interesting to see where people's focuses are.
For sure. I couldn't imagine like having one straight answer for like a world is, right?
Yeah,
Because you could go on. You have like different perspectives for different types of like, have you said it, like worlds, like the entire world or a specific area of the world. There's so many things that you can think of and so many different answers that you can give that it's just you have to. I think this question is more of choosing which one you think is a priority to you.
yeah, exactly. And you'll get people who like, maybe they're in the middle of some sort of cultural thing where they are, and they'll talk about their world as their culture and things like that. And it's really interesting to see like what is at the forefront of their mind at the moment. I like it a lot.
That's a good question.
Thank you. I wrote it myself.
Oh, I see.
So, do you enjoy meeting other people and collaborating with them?
I adore it. Yeah, I love meeting new people. I think I don't know how often you come to my streams, but I always make it a point in my stream is if you stream or if there's a way I can connect with you, give it to me. You don't need to raid me, you don't need to follow me, you don't need to do anything. I want to know what other people's contents and things that they do and learning to know if do we vibe together? Do we not vibe together? Like it's just a fascinating thing to know what it is. And like I personally am an agoraphobe, so doing it through the internet or doing things like this is like the best way for me to socially interact with people.
Yeah. Wow, that's one, amazing, but two, also like a bit of a heavy thing to throw out there.
Oh, my bad.
No, no, no. It's good. It's good. I like heavy topics. Um, it's just so interesting, that dichotomy that you have there. That like you have that agoraphobia, but you also really enjoy meeting new people and seeing what they're about. That's
I said I'm like a walking contradiction. It's very interesting.
but that in and of itself is very cool, right?
Right. I would say so.
I like it. Wow. So, are you, I know the next question already because I wrote it. Are you the type of person who likes to initiate collaborations and interactions with others, or if people want to interact with you, do you prefer if they come to you?
I think I'm a little bit of both. I think it just really, this is gonna sound, I think this is like the most basic way to put it. It depends on what I feel that day. Like some days you feel like I am ready to go out and conquer the world and everyone's gonna follow me and I'm gonna grab everyone and we're gonna do this. And
Yeah.
then some days I'm like, I need someone to push me along.
Yeah.
Please, someone pick me up. And so I would say I'm a little bit of both.
Okay. Okay. So if people want to contact you, they should shoot their shot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I'm similar, I think, for the most part. But I won't say no to anyone if I have time. Like I will
For
talk to
sure.
everyone if I have the time. I will try to collab with everyone I can if I have the time. At least, once to see if we jive on a social level, I guess.
Mhm.
Because you're not gonna jive with everyone necessarily. Or you do.
It'd be
Who knows?
amazing if someone could jive with everyone. I'd be impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. All right. Another big one. What advice would you give to other content creators?
I think we touched on this topic where I'm a very go for it type of person.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, yeah, just go for it. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect right away. I think a lot of people who start any type of content creator are always worried, well, my PC isn't good enough. And if their PC is good enough, or my mic isn't good enough, or my setup isn't good enough, or I haven't had any experience with this type of thing before, or like I'm not good at this game. I think those are all, not to say excuses, but there are things that are stopping you from actually trying something that you might really like to do. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, just try it. Try it. Even if it's a little scuff. There are people that are gonna come over. And if nobody comes over, then I'm going to come over. Like, at least you'll have me.
Yeah.
And it's just a slow process and build up from there.
That's really good advice. And I fully agree with that. Like if like some people will like wait till they have their full model or like all their layouts and everything. But I say just start doing it. People will come and follow you and eventually you'll have a following, right?
Right. And then whenever it's perfect, you get to see, I think it's even more amazing to see something that was a little scuffed at the beginning become as beautiful as it is when they are at their pinnacle.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like you see like this, it's like watching those remake videos of like plushies or like toy cars that they re-innovate. It's like one of those things that from the beginning to the end, you were there in the entire process, so it's even more satisfying and like heartfelt for some people.
Yeah. So, do you ever go back and rewatch any of your like very, very original streams or videos?
I don't watch my original streams or videos, but one of my mods makes a compilation for each month that she just has, and then she goes, "Look, you were so tiny there," and I'd be like, "Oh wow, I was tiny," and it's just like something that I like to look over. And I won't watch me like an entire hour of like what it was like whenever I first started because I know for a fact that I'm gonna embarrass myself, but it's nice to see it with other people, like experience it with other people to see like what were they thinking.
Yeah. So, do you ever do like a milestone, go back and watch the original stream with your stream?
Oh God, no! I think they would all make fun of me, and therefore they are not having this chance. Sorry, guys,
The opportunity is not there. No donathon
does
goal.
not exist.
Yeah, I sometimes just look back at just my thumbnails and I just cringe at some of the original thumbnails that I drew and I'm like, no, Please.
No,
Please
no.
stop. Can I
I
just like
feel
delist
that.
it?
Well, then you don't want to delete it either, but it's like I'm not about to update all of the thumbnails to the recent style when I know in like about a month I'm gonna change it again.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, episode 1 to 3 of this series, they're just gone because
They're
the
just
thumbnail sucked.
exactly. You just couldn't handle that.
But yeah, I look forward to, maybe 1 year or 2 years out, going back to like the very first video and just like having lots of alcohol because I wouldn't be able to stand it otherwise.
Just have your viewers and be like, you guys weren't here for it, but like that was me.
This person here who can't speak a full sentence properly. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. Amazing how 1 year can change you guys.
Yeah. It's wild. So, what are your dreams for this year? Ooh,
Ooh,
I love this one.
dreams.
I used
You know,
dreams instead of goals because
yeah,
it's broader.
it is broader. Well, it's more goals are like realistic. Dreams are like what you wish you could accomplish, right?
Exactly.
That's like makes it all the more mystical.
Whoa.
uh,
I've heard that word today.
yeah. So I think dream wise, I would like to get to a point where people recognize me as being like an audio book voice person, like a narrator of some sort. Like
Ooh.
someone on Twitter be like, and that's the person who read that audiobook for this book, and I listened to it. Like if I had one tweet that did that, I would consider my year complete.
Wow. Do you do that now? Like
I'm
narrate
beginning
audiobooks?
to.
Yeah.
Well, because I started doing it on stream, like on Twitch, and I was like, wouldn't that be awesome if I had it recorded professionally so people can actually read along? And I said, yeah, it would be cool. And I talked to myself about it and I did it. I'm doing it.
Whoa. So when does that come out?
Comes out, I think the first part comes out next week, actually.
Oh, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Oh
I'm
my goodness.
very nervous, though. As you can see, anything major makes me really nervous.
But that's good because like anything that's worth doing, you'll care about, and if you care about it, you'll have like that emotional investment in it.
Yes, exactly. It makes it all the more satisfying when you're done, too.
Yes. And then sharing it with people and seeing their reaction.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's exciting. Well, I look forward to listening to that.
Oh, I would cry if you heard it and then you said, "I think you mispronounced something." I would cry.
I think
I
you
would
have
cry
a
happy.
I think you have a voice typo.
Oh, you have a voice typo. Excuse me.
So when you say like professionally recorded, what what does that kind of entail?
It kind of entails instead of me reading on stream, like halfway stopping through to talk about like sentences and stuff like that, because I love to do that. I'd love to sit down through a book and dissect the book and be like, wow, this sentence is really good because they use this word instead of this word. Like, if you have ever went to like a high school that did like a literature analysis,
Yep.
I was the kid who enjoyed those. Those were like my favorite time. Those were my favorite subject to do because I would sit there and be like, "Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god." And I would go insane and have like this moment. I love doing that. But whenever I did it on stream, I would sit there and then go like wild. So, professionally recorded, I would say that it's just me like just reading it at like a decent but at the same voice tone and like this very calming effect instead of me getting too excited stopping and talking about something that it relates to the book but isn't exactly in the book. It's more of an audiobook that you read along to.
Ah, I see, I see, I see. And probably like try to keep any potential noise out as much as possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. Keep everything out. Keep my cats away. They love to make a ruckus.
Yeah, hide in a closet and read a book.
Yeah, just hide in there.
So peaceful. Oh my goodness.
I would fall asleep if I did it.
Fall asleep in the closet.
Yeah, I'd fall asleep in the closet.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh. Well, that's actually all the questions I had.
Wow. That was a lot shorter than I thought.
It was like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. I take it back.
Time just flies, I guess, when
It
you're
does.
being researched. So to close out, I guess maybe if you want to tell any of the viewers where they can find you, what your
Sure.
socials are.
Yeah, so if you guys just look up either on Twitch or YouTube or on Twitter, all of them are going to be Miss Lupin VT. And that's it. You can find me literally in any platform, except maybe TikTok. I don't have a TikTok yet.
No Lupin TikTok dances just yet.
No, not yet, not yet. We'll have to wait.
That's for when the 3D model is revealed, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Nice, nice. We all look forward to that soon, right?
Oh yeah, definitely soon. Whenever whenever I can, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for joining me here and answering all my very invasive and obtrusive questions.
I wouldn't say they're invasive. Intriguing is the right word.
I know everything about you now.
Uh-oh.
Well, not
It's
everything.
okay. I'm still stalking you from the window. I mean, what?
I'm scared. Save me, viewers. But yeah, so thanks for coming, and I hope that we can do some other collabs in the future. Time permitting, obviously, because everybody's busy a little bit. But yeah.
I would love to. I would love to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we jived very well.
I would say we had a high level of jivitude.
I would agree. I'll put that in your notes. I'll write it down for you later.
Jivitude, 10 out of 10, would recommend.
Would recommend.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I guess until next time, keep on being yourselves.
Yeah, bye bye everyone.
Bye.